Okay, before I go through the past paper questions that I've asked you to do this morning, it's occurred to me that the video clip that you've watched has got a different example 3 to the ones that are actually on the notes that I've uploaded. So let me just take you through this question. It is a past paper question from a numeracy paper. Sean wrote the following: for the last 7 days I've recorded the number of cars parked in my local car park at 10 AM each day. This is what I found. So the car park always had some cars in it. The greatest number of cars was 11, the range was 8, the median was 9, the mode was 10. On one day there were 6, and on another day there were 7 cars in the car park. Gareth asked, what was the mean number of cars in the car park at 10 AM for these 7 days? Complete Sean's reply to Gareth's question. You must list the 7 numbers Sean recorded and show all the working. So in order to work out what the mean is, I need to know what the actual raw data values are, so the actual numbers of cars in each day. And there's enough information here to do that. There will be more space on an actual exam paper than this. So we're going to have 7 data values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, in order to work out what the data values are, I need an ordered list because I'm talking about a median. So a common mistake students made with this question was they were thinking that was going to be, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that's not the case. What we have to do here is order the number of cars in the car park irrespective of what day it was. So let's go back through the information that I know. The car park always had some cars parked in it, so there are going to be no zeros. The greatest number of cars was 11. So because this is an ordered list, I know that that value there is going to be 11. The range was 8, which means the difference between the largest and smallest value is 8. So for that to be the case, the smallest value is going to be 3, because 11 take away 3 is 8. The median was 9, so the middle value is 9, and because there are 7 days in the week, I'm going to have a middle value, which is going to be there, so I know that that is 9. The mode was 10, so there's going to be more 10s than anything else. Well, there's 2 gaps there, so those both must be 10. On one day there were 6, and on another day there were 7. So that's my raw data. So in order to find the mean, I need to find the total and then divide by the count. So the total is what I get if I add those together. So I have 10, 20, 31, 40, 47, 50, 56. Divided by the count. How many are there? Well, there are 7 days. So 56 divided by 7 is 8. So the mean number of cars is 8. Okay, that example is a little bit more straightforward than the one that was originally there, and the reason for that is that I've separated that type of question out into a different lesson when we look at reverse means. Okay, so that was that third example. Now we get into the actual past paper questions. All the questions that we're going to look at here are level 1 questions. They're grade E to D really, okay? So you should be able to deal comfortably with all of these questions. So question 1. The ages in years of 8 members of a fitness club were, and there's a list. The list isn't ordered. So in order to find the median of their ages, the first thing I need to do is order the list. So I'm scanning that. The youngest is 29. Now it's usually a good idea to check these off as you're going so you don't miss any. So after 29, the next youngest is 31, 34, 37, 42, 46, 55, and 62. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So because there's an even number of data items, I don't have a middle. I've got a middle pair. 3 on that side, 3 on that side. So the median is halfway between these two. And the easiest way to figure out halfway between these two is to add them together and divide by 2. Or find what the difference is. The difference is 5. Half of 5 is 2.5. So the median is going to be 37 plus 2.5. Okay, so you're either going to do 37 plus 42 equals divided by 2, 39.5. Or you're going to say, well, halfway between these, the difference is 5, which means I've got to add on 2.5 to that, and you get 39.5. The range of their ages is going to be the difference between 62 and 29, and it's really important that you calculate what that is. If you just said the range is from 22 to 29 to 62, you wouldn't get the marks. So the range is 33, and the mean is the total divided by the count. Which we can write using a divide, or better like that. Well, the total is going to be 29 plus 31 plus 34 plus 37 plus 42 plus 46 plus 55 plus 62, which is 336. Make sure that you press equals. Always a good idea to write them down rather than just working them out. The count is 8, there are 8 members. So I've got to do 336 divided by 8, which is 42. Part D. Assuming that the membership has not changed in the last 4 years, what were the mean and range of their ages 4 years ago? So this is a commonly asked question which tests your understanding of what happens over time with averages and ranges. 4 years ago, every single one of those members was 4 years younger. So that 55-year-old would be 51, that 37-year-old would be 33, and so on. Which means that the mean will be 4 years shorter, younger, less than it is in the calculation above. So the mean will be 4 years younger. In 4 years' time, it will be 4 years older. So this would be 38. But the range, if the membership doesn't change, the gap between the youngest and the oldest will always be the same. It'll always be 33, because 4 years ago, rather than doing 62 take away 29, you'd be doing 58 take away 25, which would be the same thing. So the range is unaffected by time, but the mean will be affected by time. So it's important that you understand that. Question 2. The ages and years of the 8 members of an evening class are as follows. Find the range of the ages of the members of the class. So same thing again. That is an unordered list, so we need to order it. Actually, we don't in this question because we're not being asked to find the median. So we don't need to order it, but for the range, we do need to find what the largest or the oldest person is, which is 47, and the youngest person is which is 24. So 47 take away 24 is 23. So the range is 23 years. What's the range 1 year ago? Same, it's unaffected. Everybody's going to be 1 year younger, so the gap would be the same. Give a reason for your answer. The range or gap between youngest and oldest will be the same. Or you could just do 46 take away 23. To show it that way. Find the mean age of the members of the class. So the mean is the total divided by the count. The total in this case 36 plus 28 plus 45 plus 24 plus 31 plus 34 plus 27 plus 47. Remember to press equals 272. There's 8 people in this question as well. So I'm going to be doing 272 divided by 8, which is 34. Question 3. Paige's revision homework is always marked out of 10. The last 3 marks have a median of 7, a range of 4 and a mode of 7. Complete the boxes below to show the last 3 marks that Paige had for her revision. So we're going to put them in that box. These are going to be ordered. The median is 7, so that has to be 7. The mode is 7, which means there's got to be more 7s than anything else, so that must be 7. And for a range of 4, it means that value and that value must have a difference of 4, which means that has to be 3. So the median is 7. The range, 7 take away 3, is 4. The mode is the most, which is 7. Question 4. Newsagent sold the following numbers of copies of the Evening Post each evening from Monday to Saturday. So Monday 50 copies, Tuesday 30, and so on. Find the mean, median and mode and range for the number of copies of the Evening Post sold per day by the newsagent. So now we don't want it in order of days, we want it in order of size. So the worst day with the lowest sales was 30. Now look at 36. Take that off. Next smallest is 49. Then I've got a 50. Then I've got a 54 and another 54 and then a 57. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There isn't a Sunday. Okay, so it's the 6 days. So as far as the mode is concerned, we can see the mode is 54. So we can write that straight in there. The range is 57 take away 30. So that's going to be 27. The median, I don't have an odd number, so I've got to go halfway between 50 and 54, which is 52. And then the mean is the total. So 50 plus 30 plus 49 plus 54 plus 57 plus 54 is 294 divided by the count, which is 6. 49. So the mean is 49. The newsagent says the mean is the best average to use for the number of copies of Evening Post sold per day over the 6 days. Do you agree with the newsagent? Give a reason for your answer. Well, the average isn't 27. Okay, the range, the range isn't an average, so that doesn't come into it. It just tells you how spread out the sales are. So I've got a choice of mean, median, and mode. Now, you could argue different ways here. If the newsagent wants to brag about how many he sells, then the highest would be the best. If he wants to say that, the Evening Post is rubbish, on average I only sell 49, then he can. So your answer here could be yes, you agree with an argument, or it could be no, you disagree with a different argument, okay? And both would be right. So I'm going to argue I disagree the mode would be best because it suggests more sales. Okay, so that would be completely valid for 1 mark, or you could say I agree because he doesn't sell, there are days when he's selling fewer than that. Okay, either of those would be acceptable. Question 5. So this is a different way now of representing the data. The midday temperature measured to the nearest degree Celsius was recorded for the same 10-day period in 2 villages. The data displayed in different ways is shown below. So in Brinbach, the village Brinbach, the data here is basically giving you raw data. It's telling you exactly on every day of the week over that period what the temperature was. So you know on Monday it was 14 degrees, on Tuesday 14, and so on. In Llangolch, the data is recorded differently. You can't tell here. You know that it was 13 degrees on one day, but you don't know whether that was a Wednesday, a Sunday. You've lost that bit of information. So in order to work out the mean midday temperature, you have to first of all lift the data off the graph. So for Brinbach, the mean would be the total, which would be 14 plus 14 plus 15 plus 17 plus 19 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 2 lots of 18. And we're going to divide that by the count, which is 10. Okay, so when I add those up, I get 175. So I can divide by 10 and I'll get 17.5 degrees centigrade. So in Brinbach, the mean temperature is 17.5 degrees centigrade. Now I'm going to do the same for Llangolch. And in Llangolch, I know I've got one day with a temperature of 13, one day with a temperature of 16, 5 days with a temperature of 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 days with a temperature of 20. All divided by 10 again. Okay, so I need, in order to work out these means, I've got to translate the graphs into values. So this time I have 13 plus 16 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So it's 179 divided by 10, which is 17.9 degrees centigrade. Question 6. In a game, it is possible for each player to score between 1 and 10 points. Lois and Becca each play the game 5 times. The table below shows the points scored by Lois on each game. So game 1, 5, game 2, 2, and so on. Becca had a higher mean score than Lois. Becca had a lower median score than Lois, and Becca had a lower range of scores than Lois. Complete the table above with a set of possible scores gained by Becca. So I haven't given you much space to do this, just because I was saving on printing. So if I just go on the back of the previous page, the first thing we need to do is list Lois's in order. So for Lois, I've got a 1, 2, 5, 5, and 8. So for Lois, I've got a median of 5. I've got a mode, don't need the mode, median of 5, a range of 8 take away 1 is 7, and the mean, so I'm going to add these up, 10, 20, 21 would be 21 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for Becca, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's going to play the game 5 times as well. Her median needs to be lower than Lois's. So Lois's median was 5. So if I say Becca's is 4, you could have different answers to this. Okay. So if Becca's is 4, then Becca will have a lower median. Becca needs to have a lower range of scores as well. So if I make these two, if I make that one smaller and that one bigger, so let's say that's going to be 7 and that one's going to be 3, then the range of that is going to be 4, which is smaller. So this means that Becca is going to have a lower median and a lower range. But the mean has to be higher. So for the mean to be higher, I need the total to be bigger than 21. So at the moment I've got 14. So if I was to make that one a 6 and that one a 4, then that means that Becca is now going to have a total score of 10, 20, 24. So Becca's mean would be 24 divided by 5, which would be bigger than 21 divided by 5. So Becca's possible scores could be 3, 4, 4, 6, 7. But you could have different numbers there, so long as the median was smaller than 5, the range was smaller than 7, and they added up, your total added up to a bigger value than 21. So that's that question. And then the final question for today is one that includes a bit of work on negative numbers. So the table shows the minimum temperature recorded on the 1st of December in 7 cities around the world. So in Berlin, the temperature was as low as 0. In Calgary in Canada, it was as low as -39. In Cardiff, it was +11, and so on. What's the difference in temperature between the warmest and the coldest city? So the coldest is -39. The warmest is 42. So we're going from -39 to 0, which is 39, plus another 42. So what we're actually ending up doing is 42 plus 39. So the difference is 81 degrees. What is the median? Well, to get the median, I need to order them, which I haven't done yet. So -39 is the lowest. Then we get -5. Then we've got a 0. Then we've got a 1. Next we've got 2 11s. And finally a 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got a middle value. 3 that side, 3 that side. So the median is 1 degree. The table shows the midday temperature readings that were recorded in Cardiff on the first day of each month. Find the mean and range of these temperature readings. So the range would be biggest take away the smallest. So the highest value there is 21. And the lowest value there is 1. So the range is 20. The mean is the total divided by the count. Well, the count is 12. This is 12 months. And then the total, 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 7 plus 11 plus 16, 17, 21, 19, 10, 7 and 11 is 126. 10.5 degrees. So midday temperature readings were also recorded on the first day of each month for Paris. The mean was found to be 15.8 and the range was 29 degrees. Use the mean and range to compare the temperatures recorded in Cardiff and Paris. So Paris's mean temperature is higher than Cardiff, but because its range is larger too, it means that there's a greater spread between the cold and the hot days in Paris than there is in Cardiff. So when we compare these, we need to make sure we are using the mean and the range. So in Paris, the temperature on average is warmer than in Cardiff, but because the range is larger, there are more extreme temperatures in Paris. Okay, so there'll be more hot and cold temperatures in Paris. So it's important you see there's 2 marks there. There are 2 values they want you to compare, so you need to make sure that you are talking about both in your answer. Okay, so that's it for today. On Thursday we'll do some work on grouped data, and I'll upload that information onto Classroom before Thursday for you.